This week, I was with the Nissan GT-R at Le Mans for DLC in Gran Turismo 7. I kept finding myself easily overtaken on the straights by that car, the Mercedes-Benz CLK. Even though I was faster on the curves, I got curious about that acceleration and that top speed. Therefore, I decided to try it, see how it goes, and boy, did I fell under her spell. So after practicing for a while and setting a decent time, I jumped into some races. This is a highlight of them. Join me to find out why this Merc is a charm to drive around Le Mans. We began this race starting from pole, and I knew it was going to be challenging as I was chased by some Nissans with higher downforce. So I had to do well on the first sector. The good thing about the Mercedes CLK is that it has a good acceleration right from the start. So you see, I was pulling away a little bit into the download corners, trying to cut the curves as much as possible to get a good exit out. Something that we managed to do, as we see the Nissan of Andre far back, now into Chapelle. We missed the curb a little bit, but that is okay. Now we have to be careful on the exit. And now into Tertre Rouge, a tricky corner for this car, tapping the brakes and turning early, looking for the curb and getting the throttle as fast as we dare, avoiding that penalty. We fast forward to the first chicane, where you are gonna see that the internet plays me some tricks as I got overtaken at first glance on the curve, but I see myself up front. But then, the Nissan is in front now. So strange. However, again, the acceleration and top speed of this Merc comes into play, overtaking the Nissan again. Look at that speed difference. Now here I stay to the left, taking that defensive into the second chicane. Andre brakes quite late and I have to give him space as he is alongside me. He goes wide on the exit and I am able to stay in the front. Now on the acceleration we gain again. That is the edge that this Mercedes had over the Nissan in Le Mans, which was very nice indeed. Now at this point I see that sister CLK attempting an overtake, so I decide to extend a hand by giving her a tow. However, he comes after me into Mulsanne, heavy braking, she on the outside giving space even though the ghosting is active, and Carson Racing gets in front, but not for so long as I now get the benefit of the slipstream. And now, look at the speed that we are about to gain. It's just amazing. Even chasing another CLK, we are faster. We are reaching 300 kilometers an hour and we are still side to side into Indianapolis. He backs off, I stay to the left as a defense measure, but I don't get a good exit as you're gonna see. So again, we are will to win into Arnache, who will come on top, braking late, opening it up to give him space and turning at the same time. Beautiful racing here with Carson. Sadly, he serves his penalty, and now I have Hollywood for company into the first curve where this car struggles. Now I don't know if he's going to attempt an overtake, so I take that defensive still. Now we have to brake a lot here, downshifting to fourth, and as you are going to see on your rear view mirror, the Nissan of Andre is approaching at full steam, squeezing all that downforce available on that Nissan. Now, our goal is to get a good run through this last section into the 4 chicanes, into the beginning of the lap, so we can get him again on the next straights. Let's see if we can do that now. Braking quite late, riding those curves and looking to get a nice and smooth exit out of here. We get to do that and Andre gets himself a second penalty, and that's going to benefit us, I think. We go now into the next lap on the exit of Mulsanne, looking that I have now a 0.5 second penalty, but now I am on a striking distance to the Nissan in front. We are close enough to take advantage of that slipstream, and you are going to see again how we are gaining. it's just amazing. We are reaching over 300 kilometers an hour into Indianapolis. Again, same defensive maneuver, and now he gets a better exit into our Nash. But even if he gets in front, we are going to get that position back, as he gets 1 second penalty and I am just half of it. Into the penalty zone, he served his penalty, we do the same, but now that puts me on the back foot against Hollywood again, who gains that position into the Porsche corners. We're going to see him go over me now, so I try to stay close as much as I can, battling that dirty air. But now look in the back again, it's going to be that Nissan of Andre coming hot through the corners, looking to get a good run over here. He go past us and he pushes Hollywood wide, trying to take that position. Not so clean in my opinion, but he manages to stay in front. Now into the 4 chicanes, you are going to see that Carson has come back. Andre goes defensive, Carson follows him, and I drop to P3 now. I'm trying again to get a good exit of these crucial corners, but I go some pixels wide on the gravel. I lose speed, but that could be worse. So now we are going to drop back to P5 against the Nissan of the Brazilian and the Mercedes of Hollywood again. So we need to stay close if we want to get some places back on the straight. However, here Hollywood has other plans, as you are going to see. We are going to go into Chappelle, lifting a little bit, trying to keep that downforce, but Hollywood goes wide and comes back into the circuit, going all out of chase, so we need to brake in order to avoid him. Same thing here, so we lose speed and of course we gain another penalty. However, we can take advantage of the slipstream to see how it goes. Now we are going to go further in the lap into Indianapolis. I have increased my penalty to 1 second because of track limits, but with that we will see if we can take the battle to Hollywood and take that P4 for us. Onto Arnaz, he collides with the Nissan in front, gets out of shape, and now is a drag race between us, taking the same penalty. Who is going to come on front into the important Porsche corners we are about to see. However, we are not alone, as Felipe in the other Merc comes in hot, trying to take 2 positions in one move, but as he tries that, here is where my destiny is sealed. I thought he was going to go faster into the turn, but I went into his bump and I get out of shape into the gravel. We get back on the track, demoted down to P11, but we still have the top speed to come back up. We jump into the last lap, chicane 1, where we have 2 cars with penalties, and to even the field I get a penalty 2 on the way out. Still, we are gaining on them thanks to the crazy top speed of this beautiful machine, and I got to say, this Merc also behaves well into the braking, as you are going to see. We are on the slipstream over 300 kilometers an hour, and it gives you the confidence to go from there down to 100 kilometers per hour in just seconds. I like that too. It might be a little bit sketchy on acceleration, but that's quite manageable too. Now we are on the straight before Milsane, gaining on the Nissan that flashes his lights, telling us to take that position, as he knows he doesn't get the top speed that we do. Now we get ourselves in front into P9, and we believe that we are going to settle for that position, as we have 4 seconds, almost 5 seconds to the car in front. We jump to the end where some yellow flags, and you're gonna see a Brazilian into the wall, gives me P8. So this was a nice racing experience with the Mercedes, even though we flop it on the Porsche corners back there. Now into the next race. This next race was a very interesting one, but towards the end, and you're gonna see it. I started P2 behind the same driver that inspired me to drive the CLK in the first time, La Maravilla 777. Now, it is still tricky to follow behind a car here, but again, the brakes of this Merc work like a charm into the dumbbell corners, and still a little bit sketchy on acceleration on the way out, but we managed to get it right. I know he is fast, so the goal in the beginning is to remain close, build a gap to the cars behind, and try to catch him at the end. Now here we get a good run out of Tertre Rouge, and we are going to get on and bomb draft him to build that gap. However, jumping into lap 4, La Maravilla proved to be way faster than me, and with an 8 seconds gap I thought that was going to be it. You know, a chill race, practice it until this point. We see a yellow flag as we are going into the Dunlop corners, and there we see the leader ghosted in front of us. What happened to him? Let's check. Out of the second corner he got a little bit too happy on the throttle and he went to meet Barry Art. Yeah, that's a classic mistake in this car and in this corner. Anyway, that erases the 8 seconds of a gap he had built and puts us back again on a striking position. So the race for P1 is back on. We are going into the long straight into Tertre Rouge. We get a decent exit, enough to keep ourselves into the slipstream. However, we are not going to overtake him now. Why? Because if we do now, he will take us on the next straight. Still, we are getting into chicane 2 and he gets all out of shape on the exit, so we have to take P1. Now, will we be able to defend against a faster driver? Let's find out. We jump to the beginning of the last lap. Our gap is less than a second, so I need to nail the first section into the Dunlops, missing the first corner but kind of nailed the second, so it's a decent exit. Now into Chapelle, braking before the tarmac, sticking to the curb nicely and getting a good exit. Now he has gone a little bit further back, but now we are into Tertre Rouge, and let's see, we nailed it. That was a beautiful Tertre Rouge. Now we jump into the second chicane, where we are gonna see that La Maravilla gets a massive exit. I don't know how he did it. I need to still learn about that. But that put us side to side. So I decide to pull a move here. I'm starting to slightly lift the throttle so he can get ahead of me before Mulsanne. And you might say, why would I want to do that? Because after Mulsanne there is another long straight and I am planning to get him on there. We need a good exit here. I believe we get one and we are in a striking position. You see he starts weaving because he knows we are coming after him. Again, the Mercedes shining again on the straight and we start to gain. Look at that speed, over 300 kilometers per hour. Again, into Indianapolis, a bold move on the inside, braking as late as we dare. We go a little bit wide but in good position to defend into our Nash. We give him space on the outside, we brake late again, low down the speed and get a good exit, enough to be in front of him into the Porsche corners. Now all that matters is to get a good position going into the next section. He goes to the right, I push him narrow, not touching him or blocking him. He goes to the left, I do the same, looking for the best line we can into this fast right-hander, and we are keeping him at bay. Now we are going into this left, lifting the throttle, braking again, getting into the middle of the track. And now it's important to get a good exit here. Did we do that? I believe we did, but he is going to gain now on the slipstream. Can we defend on our way to the 4 chicanes? We stick to the left, braking late, looking not to miss the apex. We get a little bump, and at that point we manage to keep that position and claim a victory in Le Mans in the Mercedes CLK. After a fierce last lap defense, we managed to claim victory for ourselves and for the Mercedes brands in that shiny Mercedes CLK that you're gonna see it right now on the back. They all happy, celebrating this machine. This is the end of the video, so if you made it here, thank you a lot for watching, and if you enjoy it, it will mean the world to me if you support the channel by giving a like and subscribing. This was Cockpit Driver, keep improving and have fun. I will see you next time.